CliffCentral.com.
This is the Third Draft Podcast, the show where we interview all your favorite,
coolest,
funniest,
awkward,
and out of this world online sensations.
I'm Simphiwe.
And I'm Mash.
And together we bring you fresh interviews every week on CliffCentral.com, where we talk to some of your favorite content creators about the business of content creation, how they come up with the content, and of course,
The bag?
how much money they're making, honey.
Oh, yes.
So catch fresh episodes every Wednesday on CliffCentral.com.
On YouTube.
And on podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or
wherever
you get your podcasts. I also don't know why they picked Savannah, hey? I also don't know.
That was your guys' drink of choice. So I was like, you know what? I'm not in my judging era.
Savannah.
Savannah?
I don't know.
I don't people say you drink Savannah.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Third Draft Podcast. I am Mash, and I am joined by the ever so lovely and graceful Simphiwe Mtetwa.
Hello, hi.
How are you feeling today?
I'm good.
And how are you feeling about our guest today?
Excited.
Excited as well. Who is our guest today?
Okay, guys, so today we have somebody who does like lifestyle, beauty, fashion. She has a YouTube channel with like over 7 million views around. And you know what's even dope? We share a name.
Hey, boo.
Yes, we do. And you know, people that share names, it's just awesomeness personified. It's the one and only. Her YouTube channel is ZeeXOnline. But you can also call her Uzama.
What's up?
How you doing, baby girl?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm awesome because now there's another Zama in the building.
Period.
I think, come on.
Okay, Bozama.
Sorry to leave you out there. I hate that for you.
But how are you feeling?
I'm good. Having a good day. You know,
We're
good
so
week.
excited to have you here today.
Thank you so
and
much
we're so
for
excited to
inviting me.
get into it all.
Let's
how
get
it
into
all
it.
started, where you're from, to find out a little bit more about you.
Awesome.
And about your background as well. Because we see the YouTubes, we see the fabulosity. But we want to know about the back end. What actually inspired you to become the person you are today? And that's why you're here.
Lovely.
So,
But before we do that, in every episode, we pair our guests with a drink.
Yep.
For this particular episode, she already knows what the drink is. Okay, so all she needs to do is guess why we picked that drink for her.
Oh.
Don't say what the drink is yet. Yeah.
Okay.
But just let us know why you think we got you that particular drink.
Honestly, wow. This is a hard one, guys. Well, you know what? It's a premium drink and I'm a premium girl. So, you know what?
I like that.
I get it. It makes sense.
It makes sense. Like in my mind, when she saw it, before we started recording, we're like, Savannah? Like when people say, like, what's Savannah? That was the audio going on in my mind. I was like,
No, same. Same.
well, we paired you with the one and only Savannah. And reason for that is because it is the top Shaela
Period.
in its category.
Period.
It is the leader in its class.
Period.
And you are exactly that.
you.
You've been in this YouTube game for a
For
while.
a while, hey.
And you have just
one
been
of the OGs, dog.
one of the OGs.
I've been pushing, eh?
And it's something that we actually, it really inspires us, but also we aspire to be like you. And so many people out there aspire to be like you as well. And we understand the amount of work that goes into it.
A lot of work. But it's worth it
It
because,
is.
when you see the final product, it's very much worth it.
Oh, nkaluma fence.
Yeah, so let's start in the beginning. What in God's name made you say, I'm going to create a whole YouTube channel? What was the why?
So let me tell you, this is like, I don't even know how many times I've told this story, because actually when I think about it, I always forget the initial reason why I wanted to start YouTube. I remember when it was like towards the end of high school, I was suffering from really bad acne. So I'd heard about this platform called YouTube. So I was like, okay, let me go and like search some videos, because I was like, I want to get into makeup. The more I'd watch the videos, I just started getting into way more than just makeup. I'd watch people's hair videos, you know, a whole bunch of other stuff. And there weren't a lot of YouTubers doing a lot back then, but I just really enjoyed it. There weren't a lot of people watching YouTube. There were pretty much no one in South Africa that I knew that was actually making YouTube videos. So from then I was like, you know what? When I get to varsity, I really want to start a YouTube channel. That's when I decided, I was like, this is me talking on camera, just creating content, and like doing all this stuff is very much up my alley. So when I got to varsity, I think I only actually started my channel at the end of varsity, but like I was building up for it the whole of varsity. I was like, I'm going to save up, I'm going to buy a camera, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And then that's what led to me to actually starting the channel at the end of, I think I started at the end of 2016. That's when I like started making videos, that December.
Oh, wow. And you mentioned high school. Where did you go to, where did you go to high school?
I went to high school in Cape Town. I went to a school called Herschel Girls High School. And I went to that same school from when I was 4 years old to matric.
All girls high school.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was okay. I also think because I was used to it, I'd been there since I was 4 years old. That's really all I ever knew. Yeah. So it was okay. Like it was a very high pressure environment. I will say that. So, you know, the stakes were high. Everyone was trying to do their best. And like, cause you know, the girls there were very, very smart, and it was a very competitive environment, but it was great nonetheless.
Ah, beautiful, beautiful.
You know, as you started talking and you're like, acne, I'm like, did you start your YouTube channel with like acne? And then now you like telling us the story that no, it took a minute. I'm curious to know, where do you learn all your tricks and tips for these tutorials that you be giving us? Because you're the go-to for me. I know I don't have makeup on right now.
Neither do I.
But you are like the plug for some of these like makeup hacks, contouring. And I'm like, where did you learn this?
YouTube. That same YouTube that I'm teaching you guys on is the place where I learned it. As I said, like YouTube has always been my go-to for all things makeup, beauty, hair. I've learned everything that I know from YouTube. Like, that is where I get all my information. And yeah.
Wow. And you grew up with who? Your mom?
I grew up with my mom, my sister, and my brother in Cape Town. Yeah.
And then in terms of makeup, was your sister ever involved? Was your mom ever involved?
Nobody was ever involved.
So you're the black sheep.
Yeah. That's me. But literally, my mom doesn't wear makeup, even to this day. Like, the only time she really will wear makeup is if I'm doing her makeup. Otherwise, she doesn't wear makeup. My sister wears makeup now, but back when I was doing it, she's a year older than me, so we're pretty much the same age. So we were both kind of getting into it at the same time, I would say. But then I took more of an interest in it in the sense that I was trying to learn new techniques and stuff, where she was just like, you know, I'm going to do my 1-2-1-2 brow and keep it pushing, you know. Yeah.
Do you remember the very first video that you made?
The first video, I do. Actually, I think it was a get to know me tag. I'm pretty sure it was a get to know me. It's not on my YouTube channel anymore though. So
did people actually send questions or did you
write
them?
No. People didn't ask questions. Back then they would have like tags that you could search on YouTube. So you go and you'd be like, okay, get to know me tag. And you get all the questions and you just answer. Nobody asked you anything. Because I couldn't even lie to people ask me. Nobody asked me anything. Nobody asked me. They didn't even know who I was.
Because you see that quite often. People come on YouTube nowadays and they're like, you guys have been asking me all these questions. You want to know all about...
Guys, I even feel bad saying that sometimes when people actually ask me. And I'm like, you guys actually asked me for this, but I won't say it because you guys are going to be like, girl, give us the receipts. Who asked you? Who asked you? Be honest. So even if people ask me, I'm just like, listen, I'm doing it for myself. Whether you guys want it or not, I'm going to do it.
That's the way it's done. Yeah. And then when you first started, what equipment were you using?
So, as I said, in my first year, I spent pretty much the whole year saving up to buy myself a camera. I bought myself like a secondhand camera from
What was that camera?
It was it's called a Canon TSI or something like that.
Okay.
TSI, yeah. It's like a 600D, I think, but it's a very, very old camera. I don't even know where mine is
very
anymore.
Very entry level.
Yes.
They say a lot of content creators, their first cameras that they usually get is a Canon 750, 700D. Entry level,
100%.
Good way to start.
And when I was researching, everyone was saying the same thing. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to get the camera. And I got the camera. and I didn't have any lights. I didn't know.
So you're shooting
anything.
right in front of the window.
I was shooting in front of the window. I think I only got lights like a year after. I know for the majority of the beginning, even when I was shooting in my resume, I was shooting with that window.
Yes.
When the sun went down, the videos were over.
Yeah. I know that's
The videos were canceled.
And then you have to just strategically put it and be like, okay, this is a great day to shoot.
Yep.
The lights is
Back then,
out.
guys, I didn't even have a tripod. Like, I was putting my camera on the windows. Like, listen, I have come from far. People don't know how far I come from. Like, right now, you see the finished product, but you don't know where we come from. Literally.
And you're just like, don't fall. Like,
when I was holding my camera up with books, people don't know where I come from.
But that's what I think that's where most content creators come from, you know?
100%,
And we always
100%.
tell people that, you can't just wait to have a full suite of equipment. You can't wait to make a whole studio.
That's so true. And I think, but these days I've like realized that people will be like, oh my words, I really want to start this, but I don't have a camera. I don't have this. I'm like, you guys don't know what we were doing back then. We didn't have any of those things. For sure, I probably put too much pressure on myself to get a camera, but even so, I could have definitely done it with an iPhone. The iPhones that people have these days are probably the same quality as that camera I was using.
And it comes with cinematic mode now.
100%.
Like, life is so much better. I'm just like, yo.
So I'm like, guys, just do the channel. And I also think, I don't know, maybe it's because of our industry is still very new. And I think a lot of people tend to see the people with the equipment and the this and the that. But I watch a couple of YouTubers abroad, and some of them just use what they have. If they have a camera, if they have a phone and that's all they have, they just make do, you know? And I think we need to forget about this thing of you don't have the best equipment, because you have to start somewhere. What if you realize you actually don't like content creating as much as you thought you did? Now I've invested all this money.
Yo, so much money, bruh.
You know?
Exactly.
So yeah, I think it's just important humble beginnings are important. Start wherever you are.
I love it.
100%.
So you were based in Cape Town.
Yeah.
You are currently in Joburg.
Yes.
How did we make that leap?
So what happened was, so after varsity in Cape Town, I did my undergrad there. And then I was like, you know what? I really want to change. I had wanted to come to Joburg for my undergrad, but my mom was like, ain't no way, baby girl. Forget about it. She was like, forget about it right now. You can do your undergrad, and then, you know, when you've kind of feel yourself out in the varsity space, you found your feet, and kind of adjusted to varsity, because I don't think I anticipated how much of a jump it was going to be from high school to varsity. So she was just like, you know what, feel yourself out while you're still at home, and then spread your wings afterwards. And that's exactly what I did. I did my postgrad at VIT, so that's essentially why I moved. But then I also knew that there were just so many more opportunities aside, specifically in my career.
That's a vibe. It's okay.
And you do. I don't want to make it seem like Joburg is not where it's at. So, I kind of use that as like, okay, I need to go to Joburg because like I need to go to school. So I have to go. And then my mom was like, you're coming back. And I was like, no, babe, I'm going to be staying here.
Yeah. And it was a good decision.
Yeah, no, I know it was.
Because now we get to have you on the show.
Period. Period. That's why I stayed, actually.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So when you first started
the
YouTube channel,
and
you were just shooting content, you were just shooting your makeup content in particular.
Yes.
And I know that at some point you started doing vlogs.
Yes.
Are those more recent? Did you start those back then?
When did I start doing vlogs? I actually can't even remember, but 100% you're right. Like I started my channel just doing beauty related content. It was first just makeup, then it moved to like hair content. I can't remember when it was, but it was definitely in varsity, because a lot of people know me from my university vlogs. That's when I got like that's when I sort of created my subscribership and my base and my family of people who were subscribed. It was in varsity, and I would just do like everyday varsity vlogs, let's go to campus, after campus vibes. And that's all that it really was. I wasn't doing it very consistently, as consistently as I've been doing it in the past, I would say 2 years. I think now when people ask about ZeeXOnline, they mostly think about vlogs, whereas back then I was mostly known for my beauty stuff. So yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
And how's that shift treating you? You know, doing makeup, and then now you're showing us what you get up to.
Yeah, I think it's been very natural for me, because I also feel like the initial love and passion that I had for makeup isn't quite the same as it was when I had started the channel. I think I was like in my discovery phase, as I mentioned, like I was learning new things, getting excited by new palettes, new jobs, this and that. But I think it's like as I've just grown and like, you know, seen different things, I've kind of moved more to the lifestyle space and documenting my life has just been so much more fun for me. Editing the vlogs, even though it takes so long. It takes so long, but it's so worth it when you see the final product and when people really appreciate the music choice, how you edit it, all those different things. Like it's what I enjoy.
Don't you also get a bit proud of yourself when you're like able to do certain things now? When you're like, oh my gosh, I have this transition, I have this now.
100%.
I mix this music. Or in fact, it sings so well. Y'all don't see it.
100%.
But I see the vision.
100%. I remember this one time I was editing my vlogs and like my friend was watching me. She's like, you've been smiling this whole time while you're editing this vlog. Like, you're so happy to be there. And I was like, I love seeing like a vision that you have come to life. It's like it's unmatched. It's unmatched. Like, it's like, yeah, I did that. Shout out to me.
You sound like Snoop Dogg. I like to take this moment to thank myself.
For doing that.
And one thing you love doing also is traveling.
Yes, I do. I wish I could do it more though.
If you need a travel partner, I'm here.
Period.
You know, we can just.
I got you.
You know, sum a girl up.
I got you. As long as you know those people who bails last minute. If we say we're going, we're going.
Yeah.
As long as y'all don't do a WhatsApp group.
I was about to say.
What do you guys mean? Okay, maybe you're right. Because my last trip we did an iMessage group. So maybe that was better.
iMessage group might make things happen.
Okay. Maybe, guys. Maybe that's the formula. Maybe WhatsApp is the problem here.
WhatsApp is the problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, girl. Yes, we
just change the platform. It'll work.
Maybe. Just be like, show me.
Let's make it on a...
But not everyone has. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a chat for another day.
Yeah. So an email chain.
Maybe.
You know.
As per my last.
Yeah. Maybe even guys try something else because I see WhatsApp isn't working. So just try something else.
But how's the travel lifestyle treating you?
It's lovely. As I said, like I really wish I could travel more. I feel like seeing the world and not even just the world, like just the country, just being out of your comfort zone is so important. Like you learn so many different skills. You learn so much about other people, even as I'm saying, like as it pertains to moving outside of just where you are in the country, other languages, you know, ways that people speak, communicate, things that they eat. Learning to see outside of yourself is so important, I feel like. Yeah.
And when did you start doing the travel vlogs as well? And where was the first place you traveled to where you shot a vlog?
I really can't remember, but I remember I used to do, I'd say like the beginning of me doing travel-esque types of vlogs is when I would just go to like the Rocking the Daisies festival in Cape Town. I started doing that. People would love to like see what I get up to, what the vibes were. And then I would just take it like really anywhere anytime I would go somewhere, with my family, with friends. It started with family trips because I wasn't really going on trips with my friends like in varsity like that. And then went to trips with friends. So that's kind of how it started. I feel like when it comes to traveling, I've always loved it because my mom really was very big on making us see different places, even if we were, again, as I'm saying, like going just around the Western Cape, around South Africa. Like she really made it a point to show us new things and like encouraged us to be inquisitive minds, I would say. So that's kind of where I think I get my love for travel from. She's definitely one person who like advocates for it all the time. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm here for it.
I'm here for it too.
Yeah.
And one thing I really love about your content in particular, all of it, is that you give people something to take away and you leave us actually entertained as well. I mean, educated as well. You know, we are entertained, but we're also educated. And one prime example of that is your car buying experience vlog.
Girl!
Suzuki team.
Period. My baby Grace.
Yay! For those who don't know, Z bought her first car this year.
Congrats.
Period. Thank
and
you
a
so
happy
much.
miles.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
But
how was that experience as well?
Honestly, very daunting because I'd always thought, when I did it, like, I was going to have so much help and I definitely did have help, like in the form of like parents and like just people who have broadcast before. But I was very much trying to do everything like on my own, take the initiative to go and like make the point to go and, test drive, find out what I needed to find out, watch the videos. Again, going back to YouTube. I watched so many YouTube videos on my different options to see like, what are people saying? What are they experience after they've driven the car for like a while? All those things. So it was a very long journey, I will say. Like it takes a lot of patience, a lot of, and I'm not a patient person, I will say that. So I really had to be patient and like do the work, do the research. Don't just go for your first option because it might not be the best in the long run. So yeah, it was a lot, but it was a fun process because it was exciting. So yeah.
I loved seeing that moment for you. Cause I've been following you since varsity as well.
Oh, wow.
And it almost felt like, oh my gosh, we are growing, guys.
We're growing.
And
Thank
like
you.
when I watched your vlog getting it, I was like, I'm so proud.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank you
so proud
much.
of you. You are killing it. I was like, okay, but how much is she making now? She can afford a car. Like, child.
You know what?
Speak to me. How are those coins looking?
Honestly, for me, biggest thing and the thing that I preach the most is saving. I am a saving
Oh, so we should have got you
queen.
water instead.
I don't know about that, but I don't know about that. But yeah, my biggest thing is saving. Like I started saving just like in general, like very intentionally when I was in varsity. And I didn't know what I was saving for. If I was going to save for a car, if I was going to save for an apartment. I was just like, you know what? We just need to save for something because you're going to need money in general and you're going to want to make big purchases. So rather start saving now. My mom also really encouraged that she would take like by force debit order a section of our allowance and put it into saving every single month. And then obviously when I was done with varsity and she stopped giving me allowance and things
She
like
give
that.
you an access to that account.
No, we didn't have access to it. It wasn't even, we didn't have access to it. And then when I got to, after varsity, then it had to be more intentional because now it's like no one's going to monitor are you saving or not. That's all on you, girl. Yes. So yeah, I just was always kept up with it. Also with the job that like I do, I'm a freelancer. So sometimes, and especially at the beginning of me doing this full time, it wasn't, booming with jobs every single month. Like it wasn't that type of situation. So I really had to be intentional about saving my money and making sure that there was always money for the next month and things like that. So for the buying car experience, to go back to that, how I was able to afford it was saving. Literally. That's it.
And we always say, in this freelance, or what do you call it? The gig economy is that when things are good, they're good.
They're great.
But when they're bad,
they're
bad.
They suck. When they're bad, they
really
suck. Yeah.
So was it Babalo who said like, you want to go home? You want to pack your
Babalo,
bags and just
bad
go
months,
home.
you just want to pack your bags and go back
say-
home. Because, hey.
Home time. And I relate to that. I get that. But you get out of it by honestly just doing your best to save. Obviously, at some stages, like unforeseen circumstances like COVID, there's quite literally nothing you can do about it because it is what it is. But for the most part, like I really try to be disciplined with my money. It's not easy. I don't want to make anyone think that it's easy. It's very difficult, in fact, but it has to be done.
And
it has to be done. It is. It is.
So I'm also a bit of a saver, but I always say to people, once I've saved, like, for example, if it's 1,000 rand and I save 100, that 900 is going to be spent. I am not trying to hold back.
You're just like me. You are
I'm
just like me.
Girl, I see the vision now why they called us Zama.
Period. Period. No, I'm the same. Like I am all for chopping the money, but as long as there's a little something left,
Yeah. But it's also dope when you do those purchases. I remember when I got my first camera, I had saved up for it. And then it's like, boom. It's here. Oh my gosh, I did this.
And you actually can't believe that, all that suffering you are going through is worth
all
it.
those lunch dates you had to say, hey, show me, I can't, I'm broke.
Yeah. The rewards, the consequences, the good consequences of your actions. Yeah.
So I love that. Who are some of the content creators you follow?
Okay, let's start with internationally. I love UK girls. They are some of my favorite content creators. Only Bells, Yvonne Victoria, Nila Rose, Adiola Patron, Mariam Musa, all those girls, very much into them. America Diera, Jackie Aina, Raven Elise, I really love. A lot of people. And then locally, Lanzi Kama, Sniwe Mkhongo, Michali, who else? Guys, thinking of things off the top of my head. It's so hard. I love Tsehopa Lady. I love her content on YouTube. Who else? Yeah, there's a lot of people, guys. There's
you
a lot.
dropped a list.
Yeah, I gave you guys a lot to work with.
It's a lot.
But also in that, like, I've also seen a couple of videos where you've collaborated with other YouTubers. How's that experience been? Are you guys really friends off camera?
So let me say, I've personally never had a bad experience collaborating with other YouTubers. I also think I'm very intentional about the people that I collaborate with. It's never people where I'm like, I really just know our personalities are going to gel because I've watched your content. I'm actually a genuine fan of your work. So there's no doubt in my mind that I'm going to love working with you. I recently in August did a Women's Month series on my channel where I collaborated with 4 different women on different videos, and that was amazing. I absolutely loved it. Like, I love collaborating. Like, it's so fun. It's just very, it gets hard because of course, like, people have very like hectic schedules and things like that, and things can get hard, but I love it. I think there's power in collaborating, specifically on YouTube. You're bringing 2 different audiences to each other, which is great. So yeah, I think more creators should be open to collaborating because it's a great way to build your platform and to just create great content with like-minded, creatives.
Absolutely. And then how did you first start monetizing your YouTube? Do you remember even the first brand collaboration you did?
So the first brand collaboration I did was actually very, very soon in my YouTube career. I think I reached out to a makeup brand and I was like, guys, I think I'd only had the channel, guys, for maybe like 2 months. Like, I was so ambitious entertainment, but I was just like, you know what? I'm making makeup content on YouTube. And also I think it played into my advantage that no one else was really doing that. So they were like, you know what? Fair. No one else is doing this. So they paid me in product that time though. So I would say at the beginning of my career, I was doing a lot of trade exchanges, which is not something that I would say people should shy away from to build relationships. However, it's not something that I would probably let go on as long as I did at the beginning of my career, because I was trade exchanging for my life, but I was creating so much content. And if I look back on the ROI for me, I was like, girl,
didn't make sense.
You were doing a lot and you were getting palettes in return. You were getting makeup palettes in return. And once you also start to realize, once you start getting these products and PR jobs, people can't pay you in products. You already have these things. It's not adding any value to you to get these things at some stage. But yeah, as I said, I was doing a lot of trade exchanges. I think I only probably got my first paid collaboration, I would say about a year in to YouTube specifically.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And then wait, so it was a brand in particular, a makeup brand.
Yeah.
Wow. Hey?
Okay.
I am amazed because that was quite early in.
Yeah.
We always ask our creators this question, and some people say, "Born 2 years in, 3 years in." I was just making content for fun.
Is good. Honey,
and also I think I was just doing a lot of content. Like, I was doing it a lot, even despite me having varsity that I was doing at the same time. I was doing it a lot. I was very much consistent back then. I would say more so than I even am now.
Yes.
So I guess I get it for that. Yeah.
What were you studying in varsity?
I did my undergrad I did a BA in media and sociology.
Oh, so you're already studying something that is quite in the same scope.
Yes. I was very undecided, like, when I was at the beginning of varsity. So everyone talks about this, like, people who know me from varsity. I remember in the beginning, the first week of varsity is when you can, like, if you're in the BA, you can, like, switch up your degree, like, see what you like. I probably changed my degree every single day of that week. From Monday to Friday, I was in the changing office, like, oh, actually I want to do this. And then I was like, sis, you have to just decide. And then I got stuck with some stuff in the middle, and then I kind of just found my way to media and sociology, which I really enjoyed. And then I ended up doing my honors in media as well.
Oh, beautiful.
So do you see yourself doing this like forever and ever? Forever, ever, 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 ever.
You know what? For the foreseeable future.
Okay.
Yes. I'm really enjoying it. It's a great way to, earn a living while still doing something that makes me feel fulfilled and something I'm genuinely passionate about. So for the foreseeable, yes. I don't know if I'm going to do this for the rest of my life because, yes, it gets to a point, specifically when you do what I'm doing, like vlogging, where there are just some certain things you need to sort of dial back on, and that does affect how people view your channel,
because you want
your
to be in
vlogs.
your business,
and you want to
know who you were with last night.
My business.
You want to know why we don't see your girl no more.
Did you get it?
Hey,
did you get it? That's what y'all want to know.
We want to know.
And that's my thing, is that I don't think I'll be able to do that for the rest of my life.
Okay.
I don't think I can give you that for the rest of my life, but for the foreseeable, sure. But yeah, I think different seasons just require different things from you. And I think I'm just in my YouTube era right now. So
I like the YouTube era.
I'm in my YouTube era.
There's been the soft girl era, my quiet girl era.
This is my YouTube era, period.
And your family, in terms of your YouTube career, are they understanding?
Do they know what you do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just that there.
So fair. That is so fair. So yes, my family does know. My mom knew I was doing YouTube from when I was in Cape Town still. And she was always like, do your thing, girl. Valid, whatever you want to do. But then it became a conversation when I was like, this is what I'm doing for the rest of my life. She was like, okay, that's crazy. But honestly, from her, she was very supportive, because she was just like, you know what? If you're doing it, you love it, you're making money, all the best. Like, go for it, do it. And yeah, I've never like felt any word like, when you're going to get like a real job. No. And she is very like, she's all about the education, all about the doing serious things.
Doesn't your mom want to adopt me? She sounds very understanding. I like it so much.
And it's crazy because she's so serious, like in her own career is very serious. But she's like, you know what? As long as you can make a living, you can enjoy it, go off, girlfriend. And obviously, like, my siblings are like, you're so freaking cool. Shout out, do it.
I really like that. I mean, I know, for some time, actually last year, I actually left a job and I decided, you know what, let me be a full-time TikToker. Lost it a month. But I went to my family and I was like, yo, Nina, a friend of mine quit their job to become a full-time TikToker. My family didn't even know that I left my job.
I'm sure they didn't even know what TikTok was. Like, nobody really, parents don't know what TikTok is.
They didn't know. And they were like, what's that? And I was like, no, it's this app. I showed them some videos. I just showed them some random ass people, chair. And I was like, yeah, this is my friend. He's now a full-time TikToker. They're like, what the hell is this?
Like, what are you talking about, actually?
What is this? How do people make a living out of this? Doesn't even make sense. And I was like, you know what? Let me go find another job, chair.
Let me wrap this up and go find another job.
Yeah, I was like, I'll tell my friend that this is not an actual career, man.
No, but honestly, in all honesty, had I not been at the position where I was making money when I was done with university, I was 100% gonna go and find myself a 9 to 5. I wasn't even going to push it. Also because obviously I had responsibilities. It's no longer in my allowance era. I was in my having to work for my money era.
Yeah.
So I would have, I honestly, had I been in that situation where I wasn't making money, I was going to get up and get a 9 to 5. I wasn't even gonna play that game. Yeah.
Sure.
Well, I love hearing your story. Like, just the backdrop, to how we came here. Like, because most of the time, as we start at the beginning of the show, it's kind of, we see you winning now, like getting the car, living your best life, going to Thailand, leaving us behind. And we don't really know what it took for you to get there, and we don't know how it's like. But we have a producer's question from Ryan.
Okay, Ryan.
Are you interested in joining YouTube Black?
I would absolutely love to be honest.
Let me tell you, the coins there. The coins.
Listen, I've heard.
Hey, the coins.
Hey, no, definitely I'm interested in it. I was going to apply for this year's one, like 2022. Was it 20? No, 23.
23. Class of 23.
I was going to, but I was at a stage, I feel like this year, even like most people would realize that like I was very overwhelmed in the sense of balancing my YouTube work with my work on Instagram and other platforms. So because YouTube isn't I wouldn't say it's my main source of income now. It's something that I do to just continue my community and grow my community on there. So I kind of had to give less attention to it and focus on my other, revenues of income. So I wasn't as consistent. I didn't feel as confident to apply for it for this next year, but definitely pray for me, guys. I'm going to apply.
The Queen Day.
Guys, the things I've heard, I'm like, you know what am I doing right now?
Girl.
What am I doing with my life?
Girl, we talked to Tata Ramperi.
Listen.
He gave us the numbers.
The Queen.
Really? No. I've heard
Even
that.
me, I'm inspired. I'm like, when am I dropping that vlog?
Listen, I've heard
Today.
it. I'm like, you know what? I need to stand up and do a real thing.
Yeah.
I need to stand up and do a real thing.
Yeah. Well, that was a good question, right?
Shout out, Ryan.
My final question for you would be, and I think it's going to be like my favorite question to ask our content creators. Where do you see yourself in the next year?
Ooh, in the next year. So in the next year, firstly, when it comes to my YouTube platform and all my platforms in general, consistently posting good quality content, interacting with my people, creating a stronger community amongst my followers and subscribers. And yeah, that's my biggest goal for my platforms, because I felt like I'm not as consistent as I'd like to be in giving the people what I want to give them and what they want from me. So that is my biggest thing. Just great quality content consistently and just building a really, really strong community as far as that goes. I would love to start my own brand within the next year. I won't say what it's going to be, but in the next year, I definitely, 100%, I would definitely want to be, if not having started, being in the stages of starting my own thing. I really want to put my name on something that I can give to the people who've supported me over these so many years that I've been doing this. And just really being solidified in who I am on the space, being secure in where I am in the space, because sometimes you can feel a little bit like, oh, am I doing enough? So just being in a space where I'm like, you know what, this is me, this is who I am, this is what I do. So yeah, that's kind of where I want to be next year.
Beautiful. I love that. Beautiful. I absolutely love that. And then my final question for you is, for all those people who are sitting at home watching your content, they are watching it and they're inspired by everything that you're doing. And they actually want to mimic you. They want to do exactly what you're doing, but they don't know where to start, and not equipment wise, but rather, maybe scheduling, maybe state of mind. Do you have to be in a certain state of mind? Because I know also you are quite the advocate for mental health as well, because that is also very important. We've heard of burnout, especially in the social media era where people are always demanding content all the time.
And your job never stops. Your job is 24/7, 365.
Hey, yeah. So is there any advice in terms of preparation if somebody actually wants to go into your field of work?
So firstly, I would just say, honestly, if you feel like you're in a space where you're ready to do it, I would say just go for it. And when I say just go for it, if it makes you feel a little bit less anxious, to create maybe just a bunch of ideas of things that you want to do, so that you're never at a week where you're like, I have nothing to do. So just create, think about things, draft, even if it's very rough, about, what kind of content do I want to create? Lifestyle, am I trying to do vlogs? Hair? Am I trying to do beauty? What am I trying to get into? And also biggest thing is don't feel pressured to box yourself into one thing, specifically when you're starting out, because, you might think you love doing, makeup videos, and then you get down to doing 3 or 4 and you're like, I'm over this now. It's tired. Or you might do vlogs and you might feel like, people are too much in my business. I don't like this anymore. So I kind of think, give yourself room to explore with what you think you might be interested in, or if you have something that you specifically know you want to do, go for it. Start and create some ideas, brainstorm, follow some people that do similar things to you, so you can get some inspiration as to, what's kind of doing well on these platforms, and I also think people don't talk about that enough. When you go on these platforms and you're actually trying to get your content out there and get a wider audience, doing videos that are trends and things like that are doing well is an important thing to tap into as well. Obviously, it doesn't have to be the basis of your channel, but go into those types of things. What do people normally do when they start out? What are people in my field interested in? All of those types of things. So really do your research and then put your own personal spin onto everything that you do. Figure out what is going to be your thing that you bring that nobody else is bringing, because everyone has a thing that's theirs that they can bring to literally any niche and any audience. So just think about, what can I do differently? What is my thing that brings a difference to something that everybody is seeing kind of every day? Because obviously the market is saturated. You're seeing a lot of people do a lot of the same thing, but what's going to be unique is going to be your little flavor that you bring onto the content that you're doing. So yeah. Definitely just be yourself. That is the main thing. I feel like everyone says that, but just be yourself, because that's quite literally what's going to get you your people and your tribe and your audience.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
I also love that.
I love that.
Oh my word. She is pretty, she's smart, and you know what? She's destined for greatness, guys.
100%.
Yeah, I really enjoyed just getting to know you a bit more, spending time with you. Yes, guys, I will be in the next vlog. Thank you so much. I'll just make an appearance there, just be like, oh,
Hey,
look who's here, Zama.
Period. I love that.
collabo lapho, collabo.
Yeah, of course, darling. But this
Period.
was another great Third Draft podcast.
Yes, it was.
Thank you
Thank you so much for
joining
having me.
us, sharing words of wisdom, your story. I really do look forward to you hitting 100K subs.
Period. And it's coming soon. Don't worry.
It's coming. You're
Yeah.
over 80,000 subs. 20,000 is nothing. We can do it. We're gonna do it. You're gonna get your plaque. YouTube Black, you're gonna get it.
Period.
Come on now. And whatever business you're starting now with the girl, it's gonna shine.
Guys, just prepare your
It's
coins,
gonna
prepare your
shine.
minds, prepare your energies.
It's gonna
for something good.
just, and yeah, we'll be here rooting for you. But from Mina, Simphiwe and Mash,
And me, Mash.
we are out.
Bye bye.
Bye. That was dope.
CliffCentral.com